welcome to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. Here we read the truth of the universe in our void color lettuce leaves. This is episode number 35, revisions and requirements. I am the London Gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week we set up a high bar of expectation.
Very good. But before that, let's take a look at this week's news. In the docket we have PS5 has been officially announced finally. Torchlight 3 is now available in early access on Steam, and we have the oldest YouTube gamer on the record books. So, the PS5 announcement. What did you saw of that? Of our glorious router.
I just know that on Tuesday everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's it. Have you seen any of the like gamey trailer reveals and stuff?
There is a new Horizons game.
Yeah.
There is a new Spider-Man game.
Yeah, the Miles Morales.
There is a new Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm aware from the top of my head without looking at anything else.
Yeah, remake of Demon Souls. The new Ratchet and Clank. And yeah.
Okay.
Those are those like, and like bunch of new games will be like interesting to see. What do you think about that? Well, it's funny because I've seen it. I was like, oh yeah, finally announced it. It looks like a great. It looks like it has great games on it. But everybody has been like crazy about the looks of the PS5, right?
Who cares how it looks?
I know, right? I think exactly the same, man. And there's been the biggest story of this reveal that it looks weird and like it's been compared to like Destiny 2 helmets for some reason.
I can see that comparison.
There you go. And it's been compared like it looks like a modern. It looks weird. Looks like one of those like Indian super high skyscrapers that Tom Cruise is gonna jump off. And I don't know. It looks like it doesn't look that good on the side. It's weird. People have been like more upset with the shape of the console than with the console in itself.
Yeah. I mean, does it matter if it looks good if it is just a shady console?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point is like, what they obsess about how it looks? As long as it's a good piece of hardware, it can be in the shape of a banana.
I think people were probably expecting
what?
Something more traditional looking.
Like what? None of the if you think about it, none of the PlayStation designs has been like traditional looking, quote unquote.
What do you mean? They're just black boxes.
Well, 2 of them have been black boxes, but the first PlayStation didn't look like a black box.
Yeah, it was a gray box.
It was a gray box with a bunch of RAM stuff, and it was different from all the other consoles.
Not really.
Not really?
The original one was still just a gray box with a circle on top.
Yeah. But apparently people were like, oh no, it's so different and blah, blah, blah.
But it was a gray box, the original PlayStation.
Well, what is that? So you think that is because it doesn't look like a piece of... It's because it doesn't look like a square box?
Yeah, because
that
it
contains
is not
software?
a black box.
that contain hardware. That's what people are complaining about, that it has like...
I don't know if it's a complaint, but it's a talking point.
Yeah. I do like the controllers. The controllers look cool. I never quite like the PlayStation controllers that much. Like if you made me choose between a between a PlayStation controller and an Xbox controller, probably take the fuck. Well, this webpage died. Between a
IGN also
PlayStation
died on me.
controller. What?
IGN also died on me.
Yeah. Even if you put me to choose between an Xbox controller and a PlayStation controller, I'll probably always pick up the Xbox controller. Personally,
Well, pick
I
up
find
a
it
keyword
more
like a normal
comfortable.
person, but
I do use keyboard like a normal person, but sometimes I like to use controllers to give rest to my wrists and the strain that I put on them.
get a wrist rest. That's the solution.
Get a wrist rest.
get an ergonomical keyword. That's the solution.
Well, getting an ergonomical keyword. I don't know how. Well, that's not a bad idea.
Those exist for a reason.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. But anyways.
But I think one of the most interesting things about the reveal is, and this was known from before, but it's that it is gonna run an AMD CPU.
Oh, is Intel gonna die? We're gonna be in the future of AMDs forever?
I don't think so, but it's interesting.
I saw in that point, like I saw a news, like, I think it was yesterday, that the person in charge of the next step of the revolution of like the product manager in Intel, that was head of the project that is trying to like compete with the AMD in the Intel technology, just resigned.
Sure, I mean,
it was like
okay. that could be due to a lot of things. Yeah, like he could have disagreed with management and or strategies whatever. And stuff.
But it's curious. I don't mind the design, to tell you the truth. It looks okay.
Oh, I don't care about the design. I'm more interested in the specs of the thing.
Did they release the complete specs to compare with the Xbox? Yeah. How is the comparison with the Xbox XX?
I have no fucking idea.
No idea. Are they good specs? Are they at least decent specs?
I mean, they're just consoles. They're not good at all.
Oh my god! I have forgot that you have like PC Master Race tattoo in your chest.
But they don't have good specs.
They have.
They're cheap computers.
They're cheap computers. But like, the important thing is like you have to see if they're good enough for the average user who doesn't have a lot of money to spend in a computer for proper gaming. Yeah.
Okay, they have 40K at 60 FPS.
Yes.
Welcome to 2004.
Welcome to 2004. We didn't have that in 2004. I think we had it in 2008, if I'm not wrong.
It was like 2008, but it was a long time ago. It was more than 10 years ago that we have had.
Well, welcome to the future. We don't want to discriminate any other of all console.
No, I know, but it's.
But what are you doing? I know that you don't have enough money to like buy a big computer. But the thing is like, well, if you think about it, it's like, how much do you invest in a console general? Like $300, something like that? Like around $400?
These things are like $500.
Jesus Christ. All right. You say $500 ballpark, right? And how long does a console... The thing is like the console has like a law... Well, the thing is like console is super practical and cost efficient.
They are convenient. They are plug and play.
Yes, exactly. And they're cost efficient because the console lasts for like 7 years or 10 years. Right? Yeah.
But you cannot make that many upgrades, like significant upgrades to a console.
That is true. They're not designed to be that upgradable, except for like recent. I think the last generation was most upgradable was like the storage space, which makes sense.
Yeah, but that's like you cannot put more RAM into it. You cannot get a better graphics card.
Correct.
You cannot change the processor for something in the same socket.
Yes, correct.
So
you cannot overclock it, etc., etc.
So,
but
all I'm saying is that they're stuck with like 2010 specs for a somehow middle of the road gaming computer.
2010 specs for middle of the road
computer. It is an 8-core Zen 2 processor.
Yes.
With 16 gigs of RAM.
Yes.
Not even a terabyte of storage. Like it has like 825 gigs or something.
Yes, correct.
And it has 4K, the 4K thingy. So
yeah. Oh, hey, you're buying a gaming 2014 computer at like $500. It's fine.
Yes, but with those same $500, you can probably right now put something better for sure. That if you're smart, like if you're careful now with how you pick parts, you have a huge upgrade path in front of you.
So you're saying that you could, by the same amount of money right now, go and buy some kind of computer build that will be upgradable in the future when you have more money. That's what you're planning.
Absolutely. Desktop, absolutely.
Yeah.
For $500, yeah.
But the question is, for that same money, can that computer play the games that a PS5 can play?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Cool. Neat.
And it can get way better than a PS4, a PS5 will ever be.
All right, yeah, but I don't know. Consoles are still like convenient.
I'm not saying they're not convenient.
Yeah.
I've never denied the convenience of them. I'm just saying that if you look at them for their hardware,
yeah,
I don't think it's worth the money that they cost.
Yeah. To tell the truth, the only reason why I will buy a console will be for the some exclusive games that I will love to play.
Oh, but I disagree so much with exclusive games. That shouldn't be a thing.
I know, right? It should be a free for everybody.
Yeah.
Because we're like people that don't have. I don't know. For me at least, I'm missing a bunch of like experiences because I did invest in my computer instead of on a console.
Like a smart person.
Yeah. And it's like and there's so much like and it's still a thing because on the long run they end up being on the PC. Like a bunch of all exclusives. Not all of them, but like a big percent of the exclusives end up being ported to PC super easy.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a money thing. The console
market. It is a money thing.
Yeah, a console market is not going anywhere. They say that this is supposed to be the last generation of consoles.
So right. No more consoles, just PCs after that.
Yeah, apparently, like I was expecting, like with this generation, if they were saying like, oh yeah, this is the last generation of consoles, blah blah blah. I was expecting these machines to be more like an upgradable PC than a console per se. You know what I mean?
But that doesn't make sense.
But if it was like the last generation of consoles,
no, but that it's not all that. It's about money.
It's about money.
Of course it is.
But what do you mean that doesn't make sense? Well, that's what I expected. Like if that's
no, it doesn't make sense to sell something that you can upgrade.
Oh, yeah, right. You believe that this is not the last generation of consoles?
Probably not. If it keeps making money, it will not.
You will not be the last generation of console. Do you think Nintendo will come up with a console for this generation?
Maybe. Nintendo's doing its own thing.
Yes.
So
Nintendo is always doing, like, Nintendo dropped from the console race since this N64.
which I think was a smart move.
Yes, correct. I absolutely agree with that.
They have their own niche of little thingies that they do that are quirky and cute, and no one really cares that much.
Yeah, and their own like devices that are clearly a toy, in the sense as a not considered like a proper console, quote unquote, like the Switch, which are good pieces of
They
hardware.
found their niche. The Switch is super successful.
Yeah.
So they found a niche.
Yeah, it's because they realize that they have to cater to their specific audience, and that includes their like philosophy to creating consoles. Because at the end of the day, these are glorified computers. At the end of the day, like if you get technical, they're like you can make a build specialized in just playing video games without Windows. Without even seeing Windows when you turn on your computer, if you want to do that, right? You can run the majority of things like automatically from like a Steam store or something like that, right? It is possible to build like a Linux Lite, a console PC that just plays video games. You want to get like technical to have like a console like PC, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see appeal of that, but sure.
Yeah, you can like if it's a thing of like convenience, you can actually do that. Have a device that only plays video games, right? But by now it's like, what are they gonna do in the future that these two consoles of PS5? I don't worry about either of them because they don't exclusively live off gaming consoles per se. Neither Sony nor Microsoft live of this particular market. So if they stop, if this is truly the last console generation, it's not gonna affect them that much in business sense. They do a lot of different type of hardware.
It is not gonna be a last generation.
It's not gonna be. Lucho has said that this is gonna be a PS6, and it's gonna be another Xbox 6 XX.
Why not?
JYC.
People keep buying them, so
yes. So as long as people keep buying them, there will be more consoles.
It is about money. It's not about anything else.
So do you think that there is going to be at some point a pure PC solution that actually stops the console market as we know it?
What do you mean a pure PC solution? So any PC.
I mean like a PC that sells like a console, like that takes that space in the collective mind. You know what I mean?
Oh, probably, yeah, but probably not.
Probably not. All right, yeah. Is there? Yeah, that's been my question for forever. Like, why hasn't been like a PC gaming solution that is compared to a console in those terms, like in the same field of stuff?
Because consoles are for couch gaming, to throw them in the living room and be the thing in the living room.
Yeah. And Steam,
can you make a PC that does that? Sure, but it's not how people think of PCs.
Yeah, and and they have tried. Like Steam tried to sell like a console thing that runs Steam and is a computer.
Sure, but yeah. I mean, let's get something clear. All consoles are just computers. Yes. Steam just tried to launch their own console, and it failed.
Yes.
But all consoles are just computers.
That is true. That is true. At the heart of it,
there is no exhaust behind the console. It's just a computer.
Yeah. Anyways, I say that the design of this is fine.
I don't care how it looks. It is the outside, unless like the design is hindering like the thermals of the components. That could be a
There was
problem.
one. There was one. I think it was like the PS3. There was one of the first. I think the first batch of PS3, like they tend to overheat a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So as long as the design is not like causing the components to overheat.
Yeah, everything's fine. You can put it in the shape of a penis and you'll still sell.
You can dress a third however you like.
Yes, correct. So yeah, there you go. The game looks nice. I would love to play Horizon Zero Dawn some point.
That's the only game that I would like to play.
Right? Is super.
Yeah.
Is it looks really gorgeous.
Looks
The
really interesting.
Spider-Man one looks really cool, but I get the feeling
Meh.
that they will port them at some point.
Kind of don't care about Spider-Man, to be honest.
The game looks really good.
I know, and everyone says that
Yeah.
Spider-Man is a very good game.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I'm not drawn to actiony kind of games.
Fair enough.
So I saw it and I was like, yeah, sure, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Who cares?
fair enough. That's fair. That is fair. Ratchet and Clank is a classic, and of course the remake of Demon Souls, which is the only From Somewhere game that you cannot play in PC. They're remaking it for PS5. It is a very old game. The game that started all in PlayStation. The whole Dark Souls like genre, basically. So that's interesting.
Monster Hunter people will disagree with you.
Monster Hunter people will disagree with me. Why?
Because Monster Hunter is way older.
Of course. No, I mean in the genre.
In the genre of fighting difficult bosses like Monster Hunter.
But okay. Well, if you put it like that, I guess.
If I speak the truth.
Fair enough, Lucho. Fair enough. All right. Our next docket in the news is Torchlight 3 is not available in early access. Have you played any Torchlight games, Lucho?
I played the second one, I think.
Torchlight
2? I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. Did you like the Torchlight games?
Yeah, they're really good games.
They're really
amazing
good games. They're really.
I love the aesthetic.
Yes, I play both. One that is like more. One is closer to the original Diablo, which is an infinite like downwards dungeon that you go through the mines. And then the second one is more like open world, and you go through different zones and that. But the game is really excellent. The RPG elements are excellent. The art style is very different, but is good for what it does. So and now you know what happened with Torchlight, right? All the things that I think we talk about, like they shutting down the plans to make it a expansive world and then making a sequel after that, like a true sequel. You remember we talked that like a long time ago, and now they are now in early access for you to test it and to see how is the beta right now in Steam. You can download it for Torchlight 3 and see what they did with all the work they've been doing for the third installment.
It looks very interesting. Did you saw the announcement, the trailer announcement?
Yeah.
It looks a lot like it has a lot of Diablo 3 vibes.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really excellent. I've seen in like I think they kept the majority of the systems they started with in the development before this, which is like the housing thingy and when you can like having your own house that you grew up, like collect stuff and make like beds and shit, having like a hideout style of thing.
Yeah.
When you can construct your house and like bring trophies from the war and etc. So check it out. Torchlight. So far, the Torchlight people have been doing really good games, and I don't think this will be much different. Especially because they fought hard. They fought to the nail, not to like dilute his game to make it as service. Because that was the plan of the original third part of Torchlight, to make it like game as a service. And they fought hard and to the nail to actually make it a normal part 3 of the Torchlight, more Torchlight, basically. That's what I'm saying. So showing them support. I will check it out someday in the future because I do like what they do, and I've played both Torchlight 1 and 2. But yeah.
No, I'll check it out. I like Torchlight 2 a lot. It's a good game.
Yes, it is a good game. And now for final news. Japan's video games grandma with 90 years old plays her way into record books. What?
This was a really heartwarming
story.
Yeah.
I thought like I didn't. She said she posts play like what I'm trying to say. Like she posts normal. What is the name of the format? Gameplay thingies in the YouTube. I forgot. Damn it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She plays.
No idea what you're talking about.
The thing that Markiplier does, that he plays like gameplay, but he has like a word for it, and I don't remember it right now. For that genre of YouTube content, help me out, Lucho.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can help me out. God damn it.
Play with me? Playthroughs?
No, it's similar. It's similar to that.
What are you talking about?
It's like the word of the genre of the people who just like upload themselves playing video games in YouTube and they edit it and stuff. He has a name.
I have no idea.
Yeah, come on.
Does that have a name?
He does. He has like a proper like name for it.
Isn't it a playthrough?
Playthroughs. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Is that all you wanted?
Yes, I wanted that word. So she's a YouTuber that posts a bunch of playthroughs, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what kind of content does she post?
She playing games.
Yeah, so she's a YouTuber
That's what she posts.
That puts playthroughs in gaming. What? And now I'm wondering what games she play.
Call of Duty.
Oh my gosh,
I think I've seen her playing
FPSs.
Resident Evil.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Dragon, Super Mario Brothers. This.
Call of Duty.
Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Call of Duty.
It's really cool.
She's a cool 90 years old gaming hardcore gaming grandma.
I think it's really cool. I think it's the coolest thing. Like, yeah.
We do have a famous grandma that plays Skyrim, right? In YouTube.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, we do have like a very famous, but that one is like I think around 70 years old. The one that plays Skyrim, and posts his playthrough in YouTube for the Skyrim playthrough of the grandma. But now we have the Japanese 90 years old as the oldest hardcore video gamer in existence.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, so rock and roll, man.
It's so freaking cool. I don't know why I find it so amazing. So heartwarming.
I think because
these are the type of news that makes me happy.
Yeah, we wish to get to that age and still be able to like. Can you imagine it? Like, can you imagine what is gonna happen to our generation when we get to that age? That we are used to like being in a game environment all the time. We're all geezers playing video games, huh?
She has videos like playing Monster Hunter.
She has videos playing Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
Wow. She's my hero now.
She's amazing.
Wow. Hamako Mori. She has a cool name too. Oh my god. So, there you go. The oldest grandma. And she's super polite.
Of course she.
Yeah,
She's
Japanese people, man.
adorable.
Japanese people, man.
She's so adorable.
Man, and her favorite adventure series is Grand Theft Auto and
I
Plays of
know,
the
it's so
Scrolls 2.
adorable.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's lovely. Like, it makes me happy.
Oh my god.
I want this kind of news all the time.
Oh my god. Your hands emotions. It's getting her. Oh my god, of course. She has to exit. Like if I do exercise for my hands for playing what I play. Because I'm gonna read this as it is. This is lovely. It's getting hard. It really is. She's describing exercise she does with her fingers and hands every day to get herself game ready. She has no intention of giving up gaming. I won't put it down just because it's difficult. It's better than doing nothing. She hopes with practice can improve further. I want to play well no matter how old I am. I want to continue as long as possible. She's an evangelist for video games. I encourage other people to get into gaming. Please do. Please do. Man, this is so cool, Lucho. Thank you for this news.
It is. She also plays Borderlands 3. It's
nice.
so cool.
Oh my god, she's not only a lovely lady, but she has really good taste in games.
I love this news.
Wow.
And like the whole thing about being difficult for her to play some games, it really makes you think about like making game control schemes more accessible for not only for all people, but like for people with maybe limited movement or limited motricity or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about it.
Yeah.
Which is something that I mean, I don't think about that much because I play on a keyboard, but
and mouse, yeah, and it's something like you have more options in terms of ergonomics in that realm that
it does, but it's still like it can be hard. Like it requires a lot of fine motor skills to use a keyboard.
Yeah.
So it really, that's the kind of thing that is like, oh, damn. If I were a game developer, those are the things that you should keep in mind.
Yeah, it's like is this like the ergonomics and design that goes into a controller.
But not only the controller, like the control schemes for your game, like if they're too convoluted, like you have to press too many things at the same time and like make a lot of complex movements for no reason, like
for no reason,
in no real benefit of the game.
All right, yeah.
And there are games who have control schemes that are like that. They're just cumbersome.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fortunately, like recently, a lot of games gives you like very flexibility of how to move up, like how to configure your scheme in
but
control and
it goes
etc.
It goes further than just a configuration for your physical device.
Yeah.
Like there are still games that require to do a lot of stuff.
Yes, correct. Yes.
For like and just being cumbersome, you know?
Yeah. What do you think that like any kind of VR technology or VR input will be better or worse?
I think it depends. VR is still like the control schemes for VR are still limited to two stickies that you have in your hands.
Yeah.
So maybe that's easier to control. I don't know. I don't have much experience with like playing VR games.
Yeah.
It could be. It could offer a solution.
Yeah.
But probably the controls have to get better, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think the well in terms of ergonomics, like new controllers, they're always more comfortable and like as long as we have like better materials to make them, and I think that in that realm we've been like the evolution of controls and ergonomics and how the controls are think about has been like progressing steadily, at least in the console side of things. In mouse and keyboard, you have like Razer that offers you these mouses where you have like 500 buttons on it, or like super lightweight mouses, or
Yeah, but
like
for example, like a mouse with like a bunch of side buttons
yeah
doesn't like it still requires a lot of fine movement.
yeah a lot of fine motricity. Yeah, that's true. That
It's
is
not that
definitely
it's not that in a keyboard you don't have enough keys to press because
yeah.
you have enough.
Yes,
it's,
yeah.
it's how like motricity and designing the actual game controls, not the physical thing, but like the way that you control things.
Yeah.
Simple, in a way
Yeah.
that you're not like twisting your hands because you have to press Q and Y and M at the same time while shifting and jumping with a spacebar. You know what
Well,
I
then I'm
mean?
gonna ask you this: do you find like World of Warcraft control scheme to be
Oh, they're super cumbersome.
super
They're not
cumbersome,
friendly at
right?
all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they are also arcade.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah, in
And
that
the
sense,
only
yes.
benefit is that World of Warcraft offers is that you can play it with, like, for example, I know that Hazelnut, the YouTuber,
Yeah.
she plays with a mouse with a lot of buttons and not a
Yes.
keyboard but a keypad.
Oh. Curious. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So like those keypads keep your wrist
In a
like
good
in a
position.
proper straight position,
Yeah. Nice.
and like you're not like it is different like you have enough keys on your fingers so that you can reconfigure everything so that it's there, and you don't
Yeah.
have like to move your hand across the keyboard to stuff.
Cool. Nice. And
So
that's what
there
you
are
want.
options,
Yeah.
and like just World of Warcraft allows you to basically plug anything and configure.
Can
But
you play World of Warcraft with a controller? Could you play World of Warcraft with a controller?
I guess you can try to.
Yeah, viva,
No,
yeah, viva.
there's actually an add-on called OPI
Yeah.
that allows you to basically find radial menus.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah.
So I guess if you have enough of those and do it in a smart way,
Yeah.
you could have all you need. Probably some classes you cannot play them with
Well,
anything
yeah,
like
because
that.
I was thinking about it last time, and I was like, I probably could play my warrior with a controller. Like, I need one button for like the DPS, the DPS cycle in the macro, and then I need like two radial menus for the rest of things, for the utility and like emergency
Sure.
stuff, and like the movement I can put in like across the key, the actual controller, um camera in one side, the movement in the other. Yeah, the only thing will be like target selection. You'll have to do some kind of like target selection cycle through or something like that.
It is. I mean, I'm not saying you cannot do it, but like
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing. It's just the game itself is not friendly for that. Like you
Yes.
can do it,
Yes.
but it
Yes.
requires add-ons, macros,
And
and like
stuff. Yeah. Think about
going
like
through hoops.
yeah, jumping through a bunch of hoops for you to be
Yeah,
like
that's what
comfortable.
I'm saying. Like, can you do it in World of Warcraft? Sure.
Yeah.
Like there are tools to it.
Yeah.
But
For
that's the
example,
point of you being conscient as a game developer of.
but I think, for example, you will never be able to play as a healer with a controller.
I know, but again, that's World of Warcraft is an old game. It was
Yeah.
probably never thought about that, but that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
the game developer should think about those things. Like,
Yeah, more accessibility. I definitely
yeah,
agree. Like absolutely.
that so that players don't have to jump through all those hoops of
to be comfortable.
Oh, but they need add-ons and macros and extra devices.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not that it's impossible. Just make it easier for people to play the way they want or the way they can do it.
Yes, but absolutely love this story. This was lovely, Lucho. Thank you.
Make me so.
Yeah, and with that, warm us on our heart of this grandma that we hope we had like a gaming grandma in our lives. We move to our deep dive. And first, a disclaimer: remember that everything that we talk here in the deep dive is based on opinions and our own in-game experience. We can be wrong. We can say wrong things. We can have differently experience that you had with the game. So you can leave everything that you disagree with us in the comment below, in the towel section below if you're watching us on YouTube, or send us Twitters, emails if you're hearing us in any of the multiple hearing services that we are on. So you can be free of criticize everything that we say in the deep dive. All right?
Of course.
On the docket in the deep dive, we have conversation about armor in Overwatch. We have ridiculous requirements to get into stuff in World of Warcraft. And finally, what is good? Is it good to control your drops in loot-based games? So, they are talking about armor and how armor functions in Overwatch. Right?
Yeah,
so you, Lucho, why do you bring this topic up?
Because, I mean, for you to tell me about it, because I remember people complaining about maybe a season or 2 seasons ago, I don't know, like people complain about the heavy barrier meta in the game.
Yes, correct, yeah.
So, and I thought, oh, is this addressing that? Is it different? Is it going to help? Is it going to make it worse?
Well, the conversation goes like something like that, like how do you balance damage mitigation without making your high competitive fast FPS hero game into a slugfest? Because what happened in the past is like barriers were so strong that nobody was dying in Overwatch, right? If you play correctly, nobody was dying because the barriers were taking all the damage that you can do to the heroes, right? Armor goes into a similar thing, but it's more individual, like, because armor is just protecting one character, right? So that makes the character harder to kill. So it's a discussion about where the time to kill in Overwatch should be to feel good. Right now, we are good in time to kill, right? But a meta is arising where we have these heroes that have abilities that give them like armor-like resistance, and they are beginning to like slow and hold down the some gameplay problems, right? So that is the main issue, right? And they're probably high discussing it now because they're close to like Overwatch 2. And they want Overwatch 2 to be the best version of Overwatch. So that's what happened. It's a problem about damage mitigation, because it's super frustrating that you're in like this hero-based game and you're trying to kill something and the thing doesn't die and it takes like 10 minutes for you to try to kill one thing, and it's just like super boring. Like, believe me, I have matches in like where people play. Back in the day when people were playing like Bunker or like Deadball, where nothing died. And it was like you were brawling in the point for like 10 to 6 minutes and nothing died.
I do see that as a problem, but...
So that's kind of the thing. Like it slows down the game too much. And like one of the most enjoyable things of Overwatch is that it's like it's a faster, very exciting game. Of course it has strategies, of course it has everything, right? But you don't want your characters to be immortal when you do correct plays. That's what I mean. And
why not? That sounds counterintuitive.
To what?
Like if everyone on the team is playing correctly, they shouldn't die.
Yeah, but I don't mean if the other team does a correct move to kill somebody, obviously somebody is like isolated, they should die. You know what I mean? And it was not happening because those like barriers and armor abilities were too strong. Right now it's
But
not that bad.
what if it is just a case of the battle players were playing really good?
Yes, I understand that. Yeah, yes. To like if you're playing very good, then in that case, the other team should die because you're playing very good and not dying.
But what if your strategy is just being super defensive?
That is fine, but
that's what I'm
the
saying. That is
game
fine.
has to advance. Right? And if the game doesn't advance,
like yours is a war of attrition.
Yes, that is fine. Things like that's boring to see and it's boring to play.
Oh, that's a personal opinion.
For the majority of people, it's boring to see and boring to play.
That's I don't know if I agree with that.
All right.
Because it is for me more exciting to see people like doing, like, it can be as exciting seeing how someone plays the right way to keep everyone alive.
Yeah, that is fine. But yes, I
like
understand.
Just getting killed. Like the only exciting thing in the game is not just killing stuff.
That is true. With that I agree. But what should happen in that environment that you're describing is like mistakes should be like instantly punished, right? Like if you're playing so good in the defense and the other person and the other team slips out, or you have one character that is not well positioned or something like that, you should be like punished for not playing that well, and that wasn't happening in back in other metas when this was really strong.
Sure, that could be a thing.
Yeah, that's what was happening back then, right? Like people, like teams were playing like super sloppy and nothing died. Like even when you punish like those that was the problem originally when there was dead ball and bunker meta. I think it was like 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, something like that. It was last year, like at the beginning of the year when this happened. But of course they're talking about armor because talking for example a poignant hero like Diva. Diva used to have armor, right? And the thing about armor is like I think you take 50% of the damage that you receive when you have armor on Overwatch, right? And what happened with Diva is like she was super strong because she had armor and a lot of mobility, so she became a tank assassin, right? When she get in and she has so much protection that you can like delete 2 squishes without them killing her and then go back out, right? They of course remove the armor from Diva because that was super overpowered. Like that should not be the function of a tank, being an assassin that is like indestructible. So it's a problem about balancing the heroes. That's why they're talking about armor, because makes that thing of like crazy stuff happening in the game, right?
So then what is the solution? To tinker forever with the numbers?
Yes, or not having armor at all, just having shields, because if you're like if you put like more variables into a system, it becomes more complex to balance. So maybe they're
but it also
about,
gives you more freedom to
of course it gives you more freedom to put stuff and do certain abilities and that sort of stuff. It is true. But like it depends of what is the goal that they're aiming at in Overwatch, right? Where is the bar of time to kill that they want? Like right now in current Overwatch, the time to kill is fine. They revamp some damage abilities, they nerf shields, so the game feels more dynamic, right? team fights are more tight. Mistakes are punishing more, so you can have like high skilled players really taking advantage of their skill, punishing mistakes, right? Because the characters are not their survivability. Of course, you don't want the other extreme of that with damage is king and you just like destroy everything. But right now, I think the game is fine in a state where time to kill is fine for what Overwatch as a game wants to achieve, in my opinion, of course. Yes.
So should they just get rid of armor?
It is possible. It is possible that they can like
But
rebalance it.
anything is possible.
Yeah, it is possible. I don't know if they get rid of it.
Should they?
I don't think they should. Well, damage reduction abilities. Like if you think about it, like armor is a damage reduction ability, and then shields is a damage absorption ability of like an extra health, right? And I don't think those abilities are bad in the game, but they're very hard to balance.
So
they can get rid of it if they don't want the hassle of trying to balance them, or they can keep them and get the hassle of balancing. It depends of what they're aiming to, right?
Yeah, but getting rid of that makes more of the heroes feel more samey.
Yes, that is in part true. But you can transport those kind of things to abilities, right? You can transport that.
Yes and no.
Well, yeah. You can kind of transport that armor sensation to like, oh, this character gets presses. It has a cooldown that gives him 50% damage reduction for a time, right? That's exactly what armor does. The only difference is like armor can be healed, right?
Sure, but like,
Plus, armor has a bunch of things like, if I'm not wrong, armor doesn't, because you're not doing all the damage, then it doesn't charge your ulti as fast. So that's another component of it. It's the same. With barriers happen the same. Like if you are charging your ult super slow if you're spamming a barrier.
that is fine. All I'm saying is that if you get, like right now, you can make heroes feel different, balancing between armor and shield.
Yes.
But if you get rid of one of those, you lose one vector of differentiation. And they just, some of them could feel kind of samey and with no purpose.
I will on that thing I will agree with you. But it's like knobs, as I say, it's knobs to balance time to kill, and they have to be very careful with it. And they've been having a lot of troubles with it through the story of Overwatch. Like things with too much armor become like super overpowered. Things with little armor become super overpowered. Shield characters became super overpowered for a while, where shields were super strong. So it's a balancing act, and they apparently don't want to do it. They don't want that knob. Maybe they want to translate that space into abilities for the heroes, right? Which makes sense. For example, if you think League of Legends, with all the complexity of that game, you have like only two axes of that kind of debuff effect. You either have like a stun that doesn't let you use abilities for a while, or you have slows, right? Which lowers your speed, your movement speed, and that's it. That's all they have, right? In those terms, you have like some exception with displacements, but that's that sort of stuff, because they just like moving you from one part of the map of another. But those are the only two axes in which they agree to manipulate their system of on buffs and debuffs. They do have shields.
Sure, but League of Legends has the problem that a lot of heroes are kind of meh, unusual, and like kind of samey.
Yeah, but think about it. They're gonna
Is that a good
go.
place to be?
It's a difficult discussion.
I don't think so. Like I really like if you're aiming for a hero based game,
Yeah.
having heroes that feel samey and unimportant is a worse problem.
I I will say that in terms of League of Legends, I haven't felt heroes that feel samey.
Yeah, but you
Um,
haven't played all of them.
well, I play a big chunk of them. Uh, but yes, it could happen. Like especially with like older heroes that have not been like upgraded to the new design standards because power creep is inevitable. But for the most part, the majority of like League of Legends heroes have very strong in the identities and kits, right? And I think their concern is valid because they're gonna with Overwatch 2, they're gonna expand the roster of heroes in Overwatch. So maybe they're concerned that with a bigger roster of Overwatch is it's gonna be harder for them to balance everything. Maybe that's why what sparked the conversation for them,
Maybe.
right? That how hard can we like because it's the same like in League of Legends they used to have a bunch of different stuff besides stuns and slows, and they get rid of that when they start expanding their roster more and more. Because in terms of balance, you have to like if you're gonna expand your roster of heroes that much, you're gonna have to start simplifying the knobs that you're gonna use to balance them in a macro level.
Sure. But still, like a lot of. I don't think people would say that League of Legends is a balanced game.
People won't say balance in in what sense? Like that they're not broken heroes.
Yeah, that
They're
everything
always
is
gonna be
useful.
broken heroes. They're always gonna be a meta. They're always gonna be. But the thing is like League of Legends have the advantage that if you are very skilled with a hero, uh, it doesn't matter if he's not completely meta, right?
I think Overwatch is the same. If you're really skilled, like you're just gonna stomp noobs.
Not necessarily.
You are not that good. But if you're really skilled, like you can stomp noobs.
Not necessarily because of the hero nature. Like it's because of the team nature of Overwatch. You have a lot more team fights and interaction between the abilities of the character that you have in League of Legends.
Okay.
Yes.
I still think that if you're good
So
enough, you can stomp noobs. You may not win the match, but you can own people.
so okay, you can own particular people, but it's difficult. It's a difficult discussion in terms of balance because there are way more interactions there are way more team fighting in Overwatch, and it matters a lot more what abilities the heroes have that affects another heroes that in League of Legends you can like kind of be very skilled with your hero and play like and fight correctly against a lot more people that you can in Overwatch. Right? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here.
I know. I don't know if I agree with you, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So for example, you're like if you are very high skill, I don't know, if you are very high skill DPS and you're against a team that their composition works very well, that all of them is like this is hypothetical. That all of them has like an ability that they press certain time that heals or gives armor to everybody. Even if you win a duel against somebody else, just because they have these other heroes that keep that dude alive more time than you, no matter how skilled you are, you're gonna lose that trade or you're not gonna win that game. Yeah, that's the risk. And that's the difficult balance.
So you're saying that a highly skilled player in League of Legends can carry a match?
Yes.
Oh, that is not a balanced game then. What is the point of playing in teams?
What do you mean?
Like if one person can carry a whole match.
Yes, you can.
Then it is not balanced.
Like, why not?
It is completely unbalanced.
If you're skilled enough in a game, you should be able to.
Then what is the point to playing in teams?
Because if no. The thing is, like, if you're skilled in a game, you should be able to carry a team.
I disagree
that
with that.
That are not in your same skill bracket. Right?
I disagree with that.
If the opponent is as skilled as you, well, it's gonna be a tie match, and team fighting is gonna be what it matters.
I completely disagree with that statement.
But if the skill between you and your opponents are different, you should be able to like carry a match.
I disagree.
Why?
One person shouldn't be able to carry a whole match.
Of course, he should be able. If he's way more skilled than everybody else, he should be able to get to the bracket where the skill is, where he's no longer that.
Like it is a match where 10 people are playing at the same time.
But it's of course
10% of the whole roster shouldn't be able to carry to determine what is going to happen in the whole match.
If you are that
sounds
skilled
wrong.
in the game, yes, because it's a problem of skill.
No, but like think about it. 10% of the roster.
Yeah, it's the problem
is
with
saying
Smurfs.
What is going to happen in the match.
Is the problem with Smurfs, right? If you are not in the skill bracket...
I'm not talking about Smurfs. I'm not talking about any of that.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's what
it is 10 people playing a game. And 10% of the roster, one person, can carry a whole thing. That is not enjoyable. That is not a balanced game.
Of course it is.
How can you call that balance?
I call it in the sense that if that happens, then you are not in the correct skill bracket. If you're that skilled when you can carry a match by yourself, then the rest of the players are not skilled enough to stop you. But it should be possible.
It shouldn't be
way more skilled
like the game should be able to find that, oh, you're too skilled, but you're still like, that doesn't mean that you're just stomping the whole match.
What do you mean? Say that. Explain that again.
The game should be able to find out that you are a skilled player without you just stomping the whole game.
Yes, the game tries. The game tries to find out that you are a skilled player, but doesn't do a good job all the time because we have several problems. We have several
that's
problems
on the game's fault, but that doesn't make it balanced.
Yeah, we have several problems with MMRs and skill match-based matchmaking, etc., everything else in between.
Sure.
Right?
But again, like, in my opinion, having one player carry a whole 20-minute match amongst 10 players, it's not balanced at all.
If he is not in the correct skill bracket, it happens. So there's no competitive game that is balanced.
It doesn't matter.
It happens. It happens more often than you think. Like, if you're skilled enough, you should be able. Like, the thing is...
That is not true in sports.
All right.
Like, in team-based sports.
Of course, if you take Michael Jordan to a street court with a bunch of, like, people who doesn't know how to do it, Michael Jordan should be able to win the game by himself.
Sure, but you're depicting, like, the extreme case where you're taking, like, a pro player and throwing it in the lowest rank.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the thing about skill that I'm
doesn't
about.
matter. Like, that's not gonna happen most of the time. Like, most of the time, the skill difference is not gonna be that abysmal.
Well, then
it's gonna be like a good player against a mediocre player.
All right.
Those are the differences that matter.
Yeah.
Like a pro player against noobs. Yeah, sure. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
But that's not gonna happen that often.
But
like 90% of your games are not gonna be against pro players. Are gonna be against people around your skill level. You may be better than them, but not by a huge margin.
The huge margin.
You should that in that difference. That person shouldn't be able to carry a match.
Okay, that's what you think.
Yeah, but why are you thinking about like a pro player against noobs? That makes no sense. That is rarely the scenario.
Like that's the scenario that I was thinking about with balance.
That really never happens. How often has that ever happened to you? That you are competing and you're saying, okay, this guy is completely just stomping all of us.
Yeah, more often than you think.
But it's not often. It's not most of your games.
No, it's not most of my games. I will say like 30% of my games.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't think so.
Yeah, because in a lot of these kind of skill matchup competitive games, people tend like to either smurf or like create alternate accounts or like etc, or they're bad position, or it happens a lot more often than you think.
I think a lot of the times players who say that are overrating their own skills in the game.
Fair enough.
Like everyone thinks, like we all think that we are better at the games than what we really are.
That is absolutely true.
So,
but
so
it probably okay. To really, besides like matchmaking of that, my point was is like, in terms of balance, your impact as a player should be felt a lot. Should be really felt if you are doing things correctly, right?
It should be felt, but it shouldn't.
Like, and that's like, and you. The idea here is like you should balance in thinking about a skill, in a skill based in a skill based world. What I mean is like you should balance your game thinking that if you are a very skilled player, you should do better in the game all the time.
Until you reach your
proper skill cap, of course, right? So what I mean is like a skill base.
But do you understand that has diminishing returns?
In what sense?
In the closer that you get to your cap, the least, the slower you will climb up.
That's fine. That is what happens in every system, in every ladder system.
So one player shouldn't be able to carry a match.
Yes, if he's skilled enough, he should be able to like.
Yeah, but again, if it is a skill, like what is a skill enough for you?
But it's a skill that he's like mechanically good with the game or whatever.
No, but it's not only like that is mechanically good. It's just that like what you're saying is that if you put them with people who are like comparatively really bad with that person, he should carry.
If you put it with people that are
relatively bad to that player.
Relatively, what does relatively bad means in this?
It means that you can still be a mediocre player, but if you're playing against bad people, you should just stomp them. But you're still mediocre.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about skill player.
Like all of this only matters in relative terms. There is no absolute skill.
Of course there's no absolute skill. Of course there's an absolute skill. What do you think about it? Right? I'm thinking about it's like if you master your character or whatever, you should have enough impact to carry a match when possible. Right? And I'm talking about this because there was a big problem on Overwatch where the best heroes were the easiest to play.
Okay.
And that should not happen because you want a skill expression in your game, especially in higher tiers of your game, right? And that's a balancing act, right? Where you have to give power to the characters that are difficult they're difficult to master or they're difficult to play in terms of skill, right?
Sure. But so that's a completely different discussion. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I should have started from there. I should have started from there.
That's completely out of the
that's what I'm talking about with a skill player. Like a skill player is a player that plays a a hero that is difficult to manage, that he is master and learn to the time, and he should not be losing to easy to play heroes.
That is a completely different discussion.
In terms of balance.
That has nothing to do with
what I was trying to say.
That has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
And that's what they're talking about.
Absolutely nothing.
And that's what they're talking about armor, because that kind of knobs makes certain heroes that are easy to play too survivable, to the point that they shoot down high skill.
Sure, you just completely changed the argument that you were making.
I didn't completely change the argument.
It is. It's a completely different discussion.
It's not. When I was talking about skilled players, that's what I was talking about.
That's not what a skill means.
What do you mean that's not what skill means?
If you are good at the game, no matter with the hero, that's a skill.
If you are good at the game, no matter what hero you choose, that's what you're saying?
Like, especially Overwatch.
If you're saying that, that means that person is so skilled that they can master the most difficult hero that there is.
Like, you could master all the aspects in the game, especially in a game like Overwatch. Like, you can master positioning, you can master, I don't know, giving instructions to our players and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you may not be the best using whatever fucking difficult hero you're thinking about.
All right.
Isn't that person a skill in the game? Shouldn't that person be rising
to a certain point? Yes. To a certain point, yes.
So that's a skill.
That is a skill player. Skill, yeah.
That is a skill player.
Yeah, but he has a ceiling. When he
and the person
he will get to and the skill. Yeah.
And the person who's just mechanically good also has a skill ceiling. Even if his positioning is good but not perfect, he has a ceiling.
Yes.
And it's probably around the same ceiling.
Yeah. Not necessarily.
It is probably around the same ceiling.
Not necessarily.
Because the game Overwatch tries to favor both.
Yes. Overwatch tries to favor both.
Overwatch was a game designed to favor, or not to favor, but like to put on an equal field people who are like
mechanically
good at understanding the positioning of the game than just being good at shooting faces.
Yes, correct.
And it tries to put both of them on the same thing because it values both things more or less equally.
Yes, but the problem
is those
like,
two players should be around the same bracket. Because both of them have still things to learn. Like, one of them needs to learn how to click faces, the other one needs to learn how to not stand in front of everyone.
Yes.
So those are two versions of skill that are not exactly what you describe, and you're completely dismissing one of them and saying that doesn't matter. That is not a skill for you.
I'm not saying that positioning and the knowledge of the game is a skill for me, right? When I talk about skill player, I'm talking about the whole thing, right?
Yeah, but there is rarely a player
depending on your master or what you master.
There is rarely a player who's good at the whole game.
Well,
yes, those are the ones who are professional players.
There you go.
But we're not talking about them.
We were talking about. All right.
We're talking about the people on the ladder.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Like, we are talking about you playing the game. Are you a professional Overwatch player?
The thing is, like, you cannot, like, to have this conversation. I feel like you cannot differentiate the different type of skill in Overwatch. You are skilled in Overwatch when you kind of try to master the whole package. You cannot like try to.
That is the ideal. That is what everyone should be aiming for.
Yes.
But that's not what everyone is at.
Clearly, but I don't care when I'm trying to balance it.
No.
I cannot look at different types of skill and try to balance different types of things. I go crazy. I have to think about the game as a whole.
Sure, but the game as a whole has different avenues of being good at the game.
Yes, I agree with that. But I have to think about a game when I define a good player in Overwatch, I define it as he has good position, he knows his cooldowns, and he's good mechanically.
Sure.
I cannot separate those three things. He has one
but you can have
than
like my point, but that's not my point, my friend. You can have a player that has 2 out of 3, and another player that has 2 different skills out of those 3.
Yes.
So those 2 players should be on similar ground.
Probably.
No matter which 2 of the 3 do they master.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're right. But when I'm talking about skill player, talking about all those 3 things.
Sure,
like when all those 3, like the
sure.
In terms of numbers,
case, no one is there.
In terms of numbers, like if you have 2 more than 1, then you get the average, and that should be your skill. Like if you want to see it in that sense, right? If you have 2 more than 1, two part of that skill mastery in Overwatch, if you have 2 parts of that more better than other, then that one is the one dragging you off. So your skill level is lower than you think it should be, right? But I should balance around the 3 things about the whole game, right?
Sure, you should balance around the whole game.
Yes,
I agree with that.
Yes, and so the problem of the armor and that kind of stuff is creating an imbalance in that sense. It's making one of those skills more valuable than the others. Right? That's the problem.
I don't see that happening, to be honest.
That's the problem, because when we had the deadbolt meta and the bunker meta, the only thing that mattered is positioning. Like you didn't care if you have to shoot something in the head. You just spam in general direction, right? And there's no expression of the other part of the skill that is aiming heads or trying to aim. So you were having an imbalance in that one of those part of your whole game was having too much weight that it shouldn't.
Sure, that is true.
There you go.
But right? I was not defending. I like bunker, but I was not defending it.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's why they're talking about armor, because those kind of knobs can put more weight in some part of the skills of being a player, of being a good player in Overwatch, and that creates.
No, I completely agree, but I don't think they should get rid of the knob.
You don't think that they should not? That depends on what philosophy they're going for. Like I agree with that. I think you should have more knobs to adjust, right? But sometimes it's not that good to have that many knobs if your system is too complex, because it adds complexity on top of complexity, and maybe it's too hard. Like I'm trying to put in the shoes of why the decision of removing armor in Overwatch will be feasible, right? And that's the only thing that I can think about.
Sure, I think I'm not saying that's probably a motivation, and I get it from that sense.
Yeah.
But I think that takes away from the
that
reduces the amount of that makes a lot of the heroes feel more samey, and that's a biggest detriment in my opinion.
Well,
because it is a hero game.
The thing that I will say that there for you is how does having armor in a hero that is just a part of a very small part of his health matters more than
it is not in that. Let's imagine that we have 2 tanks. One is shield heavy, another one is armor heavy.
Yes, correct.
Probably the way that you play those 2 heroes to tank is different.
Yes.
Because one can be healed through, so you can face tank more. The one probably cares more about positioning and putting, it's more about resource management.
Yeah.
So they feel and play different.
Yeah.
If you remove armor, then what do you do with the armor heavy tanks?
You put that component of damage resistance that the armor gives to the tanks into the kit of the tank.
Okay, so now it became now the face tanking ability, or just being able to put your big body in front of something, become out resource management again because you put it in a cooldown.
Yes, but that's Overwatch
So now it feels
home.
samey because everything is out cooldown.
Everything in Overwatch is about cooldowns. The difference is like what your kit does and what.
Yeah, but now they feel the same because it is all like managing this little resource.
Yes.
That allows me to take damage.
Yes, but that's how the majority. That's how all the heroes all the tanks in Overwatch are made.
Kind of, yes.
Yes.
But they feel kind of samey. Like that way of tanking is samey.
That depends of how do you define. From where does the true identity of a hero in Overwatch come from? From their stats or from their kit?
I mean, it should come from everywhere.
Because armor is just a stat. That's what I mean, right? Armor is just a stat that gives you resistance.
If it is gonna come just from the kit, then play Valorant. That's what Valorant is.
Have you played Valorant?
A little.
Okay. I don't feel well. It does, but the time to kill Valorant is way high. Like Valorant is like because of that, it makes you think in the game in a different.
It is a more tactical game.
Yeah.
But like the stats don't matter. It's kind of your kit, and you just choose weapons.
Well, that's the majority of the hero-based games where the identity comes from the kit of the hero, not the stats that they have. Like it's the same in League of Legends, it's the same in Valorant, it's the same in Overwatch. It's the base of the hero base genre.
So heroes in League don't have stats.
What?
So yes, heroes in League of Legends, and they don't matter.
But the stats is the same stat. They all have health and random resistance.
Do they have the same health?
No. They all don't have the same health.
But they only have health.
They only have health.
Yeah, so kind of boring. It is kind of boring. Like they have one number. Okay.
Yeah, they have health, but that does not remove identity from their heroes.
No, but if you already have multiple things like hair, shields, and armor, and you remove one of them, that removes something of the identity.
Okay, I maybe we disagree this, but I don't feel that the identity of a hero comes from the stats. I think the identity of a hero comes from their kit. That's what I think.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that.
Fair enough.
It should come from everywhere. If not, then what is the point of having stats? Then make all the stats the same.
Well, it's not make all. You are not making all the stats the same. You have different values for the stats that the heroes have.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like if they're not gonna use the stats also to make the heroes different, just make all the stats the same.
Like all the heroes of. It's like think about it. It's like how do you find the building of a hero? All the heroes in League of Legends have health, AP, that is attack power, and attack damage, that is magic, and they all have health, magic damage, and what? Health, magic damage, and something else. Forgot. Ooh.
Sure, some
health, magic damage, and physical damage. There you go. Those are the three base stats for all the heroes in League. The rest of things, if they have like armor of shields and everything else, come from their kit, their passives. So, for example, you have a hero that have a passive that gives him a shield.
Sure, it doesn't. But they do have three different numbers that make them different between them.
Yes, they all have different values in those three numbers.
Yeah, but that combination of those three different numbers contributes to what a hero is good at.
Yes.
So it is part of the identity of the hero. Those 3 numbers.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, but
isn't that what I'm saying?
Yes, but no, in they can they could. Well, they're looking to simplify the building of the base hero in Overwatch 10 if they remove armor.
Sure, and that's what I'm saying. That
and you find that bad because they will remove
yes.
one stat from the base heroes.
Yeah. It just reduces the diversity.
I think it's not bad in terms of building a hero. I think it's bad in terms of armor not existing in the game.
Sure.
In terms of variety. So it's not...
It is one less direction of...
that they can put change on stuff. Yeah. Yeah, because if all the kits has to do with shields and health, it will be like you have to replace armor with something else.
Or you don't have to.
Like you could replace armor with something more much. You can. I think they're trying to disconnect armor from the nature of the game and make it in something more malleable. Maybe that's the intention. Like make it convert it from armor to a damage reduction stat somewhere else that is kind of the same thing, but it's not the same thing in terms of construction of a hero. That when you build a hero, you don't have to think if he has armor or not. It's just disconnected from the game, from the actual base of the hero.
Yeah, but just the fact that they're removing one direction of one vector of change.
Maybe I don't think they will remove it. I think they will change it to something else.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea. But if I was a guessing man, I would probably say that they will change it for something else, something more manageable, something that is not ingrained in the nature of building a hero, because that maybe for them is difficult to manage.
That could be a case, but that's what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah, I get what you're coming from.
It makes things less interesting.
I get where you're coming from. Removing that aspect in the game as a whole, beyond of the identity of the hero, for me, that I will consider that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
All right. So maybe, but maybe they're not debating of removing it, but changing the value of what armor does.
I have no idea what they're thinking.
Yeah, for the post, I think they're not thinking in removing it from the game. Maybe changing what it does to something else, to something more manageable. Because that sort of stuff has been problematic for them. I think that's the conclusion. You should not make, like, if you remove stuff from your game, you should like replace it with something else. Or like it's bad to remove stuff from your game. All right.
It is not bad. Like removing too much stuff just makes it a different game.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And then what is the selling point?
Yeah, I will agree with that.
That's kind, like, I'm not saying one thing is bad or the other. It's just should stay true to what you want to.
Yeah. All right. That was an interesting conversation.
It was.
So, the next point, ridiculous requirements in World of Warcraft. So I was looking for what the ass was AOTC, and it's an add-on that is called Ahead of the Curve.
It is an achievement that is called Ahead of the Curve.
It's an achievement. I thought it was an add-on.
No, AOTC is an achievement.
What the achievement is called gives you?
Ahead of the Curve.
Yeah.
It gives you a mount, but the important thing is that it is given to you by killing the heroic version of the last boss in the current rating tier.
Oh, so if we kill Nasot in our progress, we will get ahead of the
but
curve.
You can only obtain that achievement while the current rate tier is current.
What?
So once Shadowlands comes, you cannot get ahead of the curve for Nasot.
So you lose the achievement or you...
It doesn't exist anymore. You cannot get it anymore.
Ah, oh. Ah, so the achievement ahead of the curve just exists if you beat the current rate in heroic.
Yeah.
All right.
And there is a mythic equivalent for that is called cutting edge.
Cutting edge. Yeah, that one I've heard too. So
it is like the post is just...
yeah. Now I understand what is the ridiculous.
It is funny because it is... I mean, it is kind of a meme, but it is... I want to talk about it because
Right.
the whole point of the meme is that it is showing like the group finder thing, and the title is "Come here, get your AOTC for free." And like in the description is requirements, link AOTC. So meaning that the only way to get ahead of the curve is to already have ahead of the curve. Which it's funny, like yes.
Yes,
it's silly.
And like I love like it's like requiring 7 years of experience for an entry-level job, and it's like, and it happens so often. It's like, oh yeah, this is a programming based entry-level job, and you have to have 4 years of experience in this. You're like,
Yeah, so this is... I've been pugging a lot in WoW recently.
I've seen you pug like a crazy person. I'm like, how? Yeah.
And there is currently... I don't... It's a big problem. Is that the requirements to get in groups to get to do certain activities is super high, like kind of ridiculous. To a point that it's like, for example, I am my hunter is 475 item level right now.
Yeah.
Which is short of the only thing that I can get now is mythic gear. That's all I can.
Holy Jesus! So you are like, you're almost decked out in what like max gear can be.
I am pretty much... Basically, I can get upgrades, but the only way that I can get upgrades are from... No, Mythic plus 15 only gives you 475 on the chest. So from the dungeon, it drops 465.
So you will need Mythic plus 20? Around that?
No. Mythic plus 15 is the last drop.
Oh, all right. So like, you cannot get like more gear from the dungeons?
I can get... I have upgrades, but they're like side grades in terms of item level. There are still DPS upgrades because I can get better combination of stats.
All right, fair enough.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I still have room for maxings of my stats.
Yeah, but in terms of
item level, everything is aside.
Just short of Mythic to get to 480.
Yes, basically the only places where I can get real upgrades is Mythic rating.
Mythic rate, Jesus.
Or maybe getting lucky in my weekly chest, but you know how that hard.
Yeah, that's a dice.
So and like even for me,
yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I'm a good DPS player. I'm decent.
Yeah.
I can do my job.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have AOTC and everything. I find it super hard to get into PUG just to do stuff. And it's like, I mean, how hard is for people? Like, if it is hard for me to get into groups, to activities with randoms.
Yeah. You cannot imagine how hard it should be like for normal dudes.
like I don't know, that sounds like a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking with the whole AOTC requires AOTC already.
Do you think like at this point well, my first question will be, is a problem of like the moment that we are on the expansion?
It should have, like the raid has been out for like 3 months, 4 months. it shouldn't, like, by this point, heroic should be on farm for pretty much everyone.
Okay.
I mean, our guild is casual and we take things slowly. That's fine. It's not all that, but like people are still being like super picky when doing PUG heroic raiding, like after 3 months, and that's something is wrong about it. So something feels wrong.
It shouldn't be that people shouldn't be that picky with the requirements.
Yeah, not like almost 4 months after the raid was released.
All right, they should be by now like a little bit more lax, because people should have like gear by now.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people have their mains, quote unquote, decked out. And a lot of people are probably doing like alt runs and stuff like that.
So you think it's an item level problem? That's why they kick you, or what is the wall of entrance? Is my question. Or it's just like the whole PUG community is just being like crazy about, because I understand I understand like there's points where people just want an easy farm, so the requirements just go super high, and if you enter those PUGs, you assume that you're into the PUG just to easy farm whatever activity, and that could raise like the level of entrance.
Yes and no, but like on that sense, you know that item level is artificial.
Yeah,
it is an artificial number. It is not.
Yeah, you can like have like garbage gear with very high item level, put it on, and do garbage DPS.
Not only that, like you know that for a lot of these fights, it is more important just to know the mechanics.
Correct. You just to
than
do the fight
than
correctly.
To pull the highest, biggest,
that is
fat
correct.
dips.
That is absolutely correct. Yeah.
Like it is more important just to survive the fight and poke at the walls than doing the mechanic right, so you don't wipe everyone.
Yeah.
And those things are hard. Like there is no number for that. You know what I mean?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Like I guess the best thing that you can have is to see if the player has killed the walls before.
At least,
but even that is finicky, because you could have been carried on that boss and you still don't know what the fuck is going on.
Or you can be like in LFR, and like apparently in LFR, two things in raid is super easy.
Oh yeah, but but like you can check that if someone has the specific kill in heroic or in the specific difficulty.
Yeah.
But even that is fake. Like you could have been lucky. You get into a PUG that got you one night random
and carry you for the entire raid.
Yeah,
and you did nothing but chewing gum and watch Netflix. Yeah,
it could happen. Like
yeah.
Like so you could not be aware of all the mechanics.
What is the bar?
I don't know. It's just really I don't know. That's the point. Because I'm not the person putting together the groups.
Yeah.
I'm just applying. So
but you
I don't know
like
why people are.
You feel like the bar right now is too high.
I feel like it's too high now for what it should be.
All right.
Like I was talking to Seal.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that for the previous red tiers, like by this late into a
expansion,
into a patch,
yeah.
People will just like giving away, for example, the UTC. Like Gil saying, "Oh, just
we will carry you.
We'll carry you. Doesn't matter. Come get it for free.
Yeah.
Come get your mount because it comes with a mount."
Oh, cool, nice.
But that is not happening now. That people are still like hardcore going at it. Yeah.
So, do you think it's been like a change somehow? Or do you think we don't have enough players, or maybe?
I don't think it's that we don't have enough players.
What do you think it is causing all this? What is your best theory then? My question would be.
My best theory.
Yeah. Because you feel with conversations like that is unprecedented that at this point people shouldn't be that picky to have
Apparently.
progress. Apparently, yeah.
Mm.
So what would be your best guess of why is happening this? Why this is happening?
It's probably...
Yeah.
Maybe less people doing the raid. Like one thing that I have heard is that since rating sets disappear, so you'll have, like before, you'll have a specific set for your class with like specific effects.
Bonus? Yeah.
Since they disappear, people farm less the raid.
So you think that is a population, like less players doing the raid problem?
It could be, yeah, but it doesn't come from less players playing.
It comes from less players doing the activity.
It comes from or people doing it more on their alts, you know. So for example, if you you clear the raid on your main, you're decked out, and then now you hop into an alt.
Yeah.
And by that point, you know all the fights. You really don't want to progress. You kind of want someone to carry you through, even though you know the fights because you have done that before.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to slog through the raid again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You want a team that just disappears every fight and move on.
But since you're not doing it in your main anymore,
you're not gonna contribute to whatever.
And there's like less people doing it on their main because they don't need anything else.
But in terms of PUG, it's bad because I was thinking, in
terms, I'm talking about PUG rating. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, for a second I was like, that's the reason why we do normal runs.
Oh no! For guild runs are absolutely different thing. It's not what we're talking about.
I was thinking like, I should by this point we're doing good progress on heroic. I don't need anything from normal in my warrior. I should just level up the fire mage that I want to level up and take it to normals with the guild. And that's it.
No, that's fine. That's guild runs are a complete different monster. No. I'm talking about pugging.
Yes.
And also for keys. And you know what Raider IO is?
Yes.
That they give you a little score depending on how many keys in time you have completed and how high are the keys that you have completed.
That's the Raider number thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's based on how many and how high the keys are that you have timed successfully.
Okay.
It'll give you a little score.
Yes.
And sometimes you come across, it's less common in Mythic Plus, but you still come across people asking for, we're doing a plus 13 and we need someone with 2000k plus.
Okay.
Which is a lot. It's asking a lot.
Yeah.
I think my score is 1030, I think.
Yeah.
Or 1300, something like that.
Yeah.
So get to 2000 means that you can comfortably farm 15s. More.
Jesus. All right.
And people asking that, I get it. Sometimes you want to get a chill 12, a chill 13. But if you can farm 15s, you can pretty much carry, for the most part,
12.
Not completely carry them, but if the tank knows the routes and the mechanics, you can carry the DPS easily or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it sounds kind of insane.
Yeah, I see the problems in PUGs. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy. I was thinking, what do you think if I wonder if you could like in terms of the raid, if with the disappearance of the setting, like if you have no incentive to farm in your main, but you will have all the stats in your main and you're doing it fine. What happened if you could like select what kind of loot do you want from the raid? Like for example, if I want to deck out a mage, if I could go like as my warrior into the raid and select that one mage gear,
Oh,
will that fix it?
it could, but that sounds like it will have a bunch of other problems. That just somehow feels wrong.
But if I can do it with my warrior in a small size. Like I want like arms gear or I want prod gear. Why not do it with the
Sure.
rest of the stuff? If I wanted to, like, if I want to play a mage, but I want a good gear on my mage. Like I know that it sounds like It sounds like I'm breaking something.
It is a bad incentive.
All right.
Because like the classes, like not even talking about the specs, but the classes among themselves play very differently.
Yes.
And you somehow like if you inspect a Gears player and you see, oh, this person has heroic and mythic gear and like mythic of this level and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You more or less kind of assume, oh, this is more or less the skill that the player has. Like he's able to clear this type of content.
Yeah.
If you do that on an alt and you see that same kind of thing, but you're able to get it like you're saying, like you inspect the player and you have basically no information. Because you could be an amazing warrior player and a shitty mage.
Yeah, that's true. That could be absolutely true. Yeah.
Or it could be, it is even worse for like tanks and healers, because if you see a tank like decked out in mythic gear and that kind of stuff,
that
you
will
see,
stop
okay,
people from actually like doing the work of
or
like
just knowing it, like not even doing it, just
because
knowing the spec, knowing the rotations, knowing the fights, like
yeah. I get you. Yeah, that's
what
was broken.
That's what is broken. Like if you see a tank, for example, gearing heroic, in heroic gear from the raid, you more or less expect the guy to know the fights.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yes.
But if you're allowed to like kind of do this cross gear thing, it's like maybe he's an amazing warlock and it's an awful protection paladin or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's the problem that it could bring to the table.
I see. Yes, of course.
I think just bringing back class
but
tier sets.
Technically, you can do that by buying gear, right?
You can only buy bind and equip.
And that has like a cap, bind of equip, in terms of like level and power.
It has. I mean, like for example, heroic bind and equip will be 460, and mythic from the raid bind and equip will be 470. You could buy it for sure, but it is super expensive.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you go now, at least in our realm, if you go now and like you look for example, for the ring that drops a lot.
Yeah.
The crit ring, I forgot.
Yeah. The one that drops some mobs, actually.
Yeah.
Mobs in the raid.
Those are bind and equip. And those are rarely best in slot.
You know, sometimes that's best in slot for me.
Yeah, but that ring is best in slot for a lot of people. But it's one ring.
Yeah.
But it's rare for your best in slot to bind and equip helmet or chest or wrist.
Oh, okay.
But even if you look at that, if you go out and look at the prices, it is quite expensive just to buy it from the auction house.
But you can do it. Like, my point is, like, you can do it.
You could do it, but I guess you could. I don't know if you can get. I'm not sure what the drop table. I don't know if you can get gear for all your slots.
Yeah.
From mobs in the raid.
Okay.
Maybe you can. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that many drops, and that's the other problem. That probably there are not that many.
No, fair enough.
Like best in slot things from mobs are not common.
Yeah.
It could be a thing. It's hard for me to tell.
Yep. I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird, and I mean, maybe just bringing people back, like bringing back the class sets, so that people spend more time farming the whole set for their class.
Yeah.
Could benefit the whole raiding population.
Yeah. But like,
my point is,
my point was like, if you could right now gear up an alt character with gold, buying from the auction house, why not have that option of gearing it yourself in your main, and that will increment, and then you will have to check like if that character in particular has gone through the raid. That probably you'll have to check.
I mean, you can. Or what do you mean?
Like, if it's a problem of like bar of entrance, right? It's like, if you're a bad player in X and Y, then you can like, if you have a super gear character and going into a raid and he hasn't done anything on that raid with that character in particular, you can go check that, right?
Yes, you can find that out.
So you can filter that anyway, so you don't have like bad players.
Yeah. You can filter that out.
So you could have the option of like get any gear from the raid for your alts. And then that will increase the farmability of the raid, because you can always farm the raid with your main all the time and then have fun with your alt. And once the alt is on par, then you can go and try the raid with your alt. Probably not in the highest difficulty, but
yeah, but that is still, you could still filter them out, I guess. But I don't know, like even there's a huge difference between it's just that the fact that you cannot do it, like just by looking at the gear, you can tell if the person, how much the person has played the class, and to what extent, more or less, that person can play.
Yeah, but you cannot do anything about the current system, right? It's like, if your bar, like if your entry bar is unreliable right now, well, what
no, again, the problem is not that it's unreliable. It's just that it's stupidly high.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think it's somehow, like, I do think that if you inspect a player, you can have a somehow educated guess of how good or bad the player is. Or not good or bad, but like how skill or what type of content that player can clear. Yeah, because usually best in slot, it is for the most part soulbound.
Correct. Yes, correct.
If you see someone with a lot of like bind on equip items,
then he probably buys.
That's kind of suspicious.
You buy it from the auction house.
Right. Yeah, but people will be very suspicious of that kind of thing. Like, it seems weird.
Anyways, in conclusion, this is weird. It should not happen.
It is interesting
maybe
how
it's a
high
problem of depopulation in the raid, which is something that Blizzard should take note.
I guess what I'm saying is they should make the farm of the raid longer.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. So that you keep more people around.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway.
That sounds bad.
And that's our deep dive for today. we move now to our audience questions and feedback. Remember, if you want to send us questions to the podcast that we do here, you can write us down to our email, thesweatyandthefarmer at Gmail. You can write us to our Twitter. You can leave comments on, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can leave comments down. You can communicate any way, shape, or form. You can pass by my stream and drop the questions there. You can Twitter on Lucho's tweet and drop the questions there. However you want to communicate with us. We're happy to receive all your feedbacks and burning questions and answering them here. So our first questions of today comes from Song, from a YouTube comment. It says, if you had candy for breakfast, what will it be?
Candy apples.
Candy apples.
No, yeah. Candied apples. Like apples, the ones that have a caramel.
Yeah, like that will have
casing.
Yeah, that will have for breakfast. I'll probably have an M&M's with milk, like a cereal.
I guess maybe cereal counts just as candy because it's basically sugar.
No, but we're talking like candy, like actual candy, not cereal. Cereal is not.
I think cereal is candy.
Well, of course, cereal is candy, but I think the question is like if you will have a candy that is not technically breakfast. That is not technically. If you have a candy that is not classified as a breakfast meal.
No. But there is. Wasn't there like a cereal? It was something with marshmallows, and they once created a thing that was only marshmallows or something like that.
Lucky Charms? I know.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, I think it's Lucky Charms. I think it's Lucky Charms because Lucky Charms has like little marshmallows on it.
Yeah, only.
And they have like an edition where they would just like marshmallows in milk.
Yeah, that is candy.
That is candy. Man, so unhealthy. What is considered to be breakfast?
I know.
Rampant diabetes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And our second question of the week. If you had to recommend a game for the new generation of gamers, what will it be?
And game. What is the new generation of gamers?
I will say from like 11 up between. I will say the because of how we were discussing last time, I will say that the generation of gamers start being like gamers properly between 11 and 14 years old.
Animal Crossing
will be recommended between 11 and 14 for the new generation.
I mean, it seems like a very approachable game.
Yes.
But apparently has a good amount of depth in the economy and things like that.
Yes, so. Absolutely. So you will recommend.
So it seems like a good mix of an approachable game that has some depth to it.
Fair enough. I will recommend for the new generation of gamers in that age bracket. It is difficult. What will I recommend? I probably recommend a Monster Hunter game. I don't know which one will be the most appropriate. I think probably recommend Dauntless.
Dauntless could be a good game.
And I think from that genre will be the most approachable one of those. Of those is the least complex of all the others.
Fair enough.
And it's like friendly enough for that age bracket. Not as intimidating as Monster Hunter World.
Dauntless is. It's a good option.
It's kind of like Fortnite, so I know that I'll get traction. All right, those are our questions, my friend. That's it.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into The Sweaty Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at Luis G. Polanco.
And I am the Lone Name Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the Lone Name Gamer, and on Twitch on Twitch.tv twitch.tv/LonelyGamers, where I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, click the notification bell if you're watching us on YouTube. Do a like, a comment, or whatever it is in the other bazillion hearing platform that we are. Leave us a comment with your love. Tell that we are recommending Fortnite-like games here. so you can hear us no matter what your bracket age is, preferably to have like 15 and up, because we sometimes swear, but we try not to do it that much. And sometimes our topics are kind of like difficult. But no matter what, recommend this to everybody. We love you so much. And follow and do everything social that help us. As the Sweaty, the Farmer, and the Game Design. This is your podcast, my friends. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And did you know many ancient Greeks believed that lettuce made you sleepy, so they serve it at the end of the meal? However, the super mean Roman Emperor Domitian served it at the beginning of the feast to try to torture his guests by forcing them to stay awake in his presence. How do you think that lettuce is a somniferous sometimes, and why would you try to torture somebody with lettuce? It's the lettuce tortures. The lettuce tortures.
That sounds pretty rough.
Yeah, forget what about it, man. Tortures lettuce is the thing.
About 70% of the lettuce grown in the US comes from California, except from November through March, when 90% of the nation's lettuce comes from Yuma, Arizona. And about 75% of the lettuce grown in the US is iceberg lettuce. And outside of the US, China is the world's largest producer of lettuce, which produces almost half of all the lettuce in the world.
Jesus. Let us live. That's a lot of lettuce. People do like lettuce. Even if it's just water leaves.
Right? It is just water leaves. That is exactly what it is.
But I didn't think there was like so much lettuce grows around it. Can you grow lettuce easily? Is it a plant that you can grow easily? Can you like take a leaf of lettuce and just put it outside your backyard?
That I don't think so. No, I think you need seeds.
You need seeds of lettuce? That just like does the thing that you buy from the store doesn't bring the lettuce seeds?
I don't think so. Yeah.